Yemeni government proposes opening 5 roads and ties to ease movement of citizens. Despite relative calm in fighting, Yemenis continue to suffer due to economic crisis nationwide. High prices deprives thousands of Yemeni families from purchasing Eid sacrifices. Welcome to Yemen Today TV. This is the English news with me, Rushan Fuad. Rights Radar for Human Rights condemned the killing of one civilian and a child by Houthi gunmen in Hodeidah and Taiz provinces. The organization said the Houthi militia killed one civilian while he was fishing south of Hodeidah Governorate and shot dead a child in Taiz. The Amsterdam-based organization called for a quick investigation of the two incidents and affirmed that perpetrators to be responsible. The Yemeni government announced a new initiative to open some closed roads in Taiz. According to the Yemeni committee, the initiative includes opening 5 roads. The committee expressed readiness to discuss coordination mechanisms to receive those arriving or departing from the city. Water crisis in Yemen has been exacerbating water. The following report has more details.
Children wait in long lines to search for safe drinking water. The city suffers from an acute water crisis that has been going on for 9 years now.
People in Taiz suffer from many health complications because they carry heavy water tanks from long distances. We call on authorities to help us and provide citizens with water. Where is water?
The absence of radical solutions to the water crisis exacerbated the suffering of citizens as they were forced to buy water tankers at high prices.
We cannot afford getting water tanks. They're really expensive and we have no money. What can we do? We hope someone can help us.
Some humanitarian organizations and philanthropists are working on implementing water projects that will solve this problem. But unfortunately, the role of the local corporation for water and sanitation in Taiz is almost non-existent. Humanitarian organizations have warned of the continuation of the water crisis, which has become a daily challenge for Yemenis.
The organization is trying to help citizens and install a solar system. We face many challenges and we don't get any financial support.
Taiz, the second largest Yemeni governorate, is witnessing a suffocating water crisis. Getting a drop of water has become a dream for the people of Yemen. And so far, authorities are doing nothing in solving this problem the Yemenis have been suffering from for many years now.
Despite relative calm in fighting, Yemeni people continue to struggle with hard living conditions. According to observers, Yemen's collapsing economy is another parallel war front, which plagues Yemenis nationwide. This report has more details.
The Yemeni economy has continued its downward spiral, leaving many Yemenis battling to survive as living conditions deteriorate. The Yemeni economy was already in crisis before the Houthis seized the capital Sana'a in September 2014, prompting the Saudi-led military intervention the following March. Hundreds of thousands of people have died in the fighting or from indirect causes such as lack of food or water, in what the United Nations calls one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. More than two-thirds of the population live in poverty, according to the United Nations, including government employees in Houthi-controlled areas who haven't been paid for years. The United Nations Special Envoy for Yemen, Hans Grunberg, said economic warfare has compounded the country's problems. As to reform plans developed by donors and external actors, they had limited impact because they were mostly fractional and failed to address the critical need for a systematic and a comprehensive reform. The political scene affected the economic situation, as any reform requires a system based on respect for the constitution, law, and the regular peaceful transfer of power. Equal citizenship, wide political participation, and protecting the rights and culture of local communities would go a long way towards securing a foundation of political, economic, and cultural reform. The most pressing need in Yemen is for fighting and blockade to end. Only a cessation of violence could allow the needed flow of goods and services to Yemen, including food, medicine, agricultural materials, and construction supplies. When an agreement is reached, several steps must be taken, foremost of which is to reopen major civilian airports and seaports so that Yemenis can freely travel to and from their country. Economic development cannot be achieved solely through donor assistance and government revenue revitalization. Yemen's future is linked to the future of its people, who now number over 30 million. The road ahead is full of obstacles, but Yemenis need the war wounds to heal so that they can live and prosper in a free, peaceful country.
MESAM project for the mining announced the removal of more than 800 Houthi mines in a week. Since the launch of the project, the engineering teams of the project have managed to demine more than 400,000 mines and clear 47 million square meters of land mines. The joint forces defended a Houthi infiltration attempt in Adara province, southern Yemen. A military source in the joint forces confirmed that their forces stopped an infiltration attempt by the terrorist Houthi militia, and two sides exchanged fire with medium weapons. The Ministry of Endowments began transporting more than 24,000 Yemeni pilgrims to Mina area within the rituals of Hajj. The process of discharging the pilgrims is carried out with ease, according to a schedule prepared by the Transportation Committee in the Ministry using more than 500 modern buses. The economic situation in Yemen is reflected in the cotton market in Aden as the feast holiday is approaching. Cotton prices have increased significantly this year, making it hard for people to buy sacrifices for the feast. This report has more details.
Celebrations of this year's Muslim festival of Eid al-Adha are muted in Yemen as the civil war continues to cripple the economy. As food costs spark widespread suffering across Yemen, many claim they can't afford the cattle for the ceremonial sacrifice. Because of the high cost of living, the normally brisk holiday commerce in goats, cows, and sheep has suffered.
People can't afford to directly purchase sacrificial livestock this Eid. They need to pay for it in installments.
Many families now resort to paying for their livestock in staggered installments. Officials in the Slaughterhouses and Meat Markets Corporation in the interim capital Aden attribute this price hike in cattle to many factors.
Prices are influenced by market competition, and we cannot intervene in the pricing system. The only body that has sway in the matter is the Industry and Trade Corporation.
Due to custom levies imposed on livestock at Aden's port, merchants were forced to resort to Mecca port, which is way cheaper. Prices are increasing more and more every year. With the advent of the blessed Eid al-Adha, the suffering of Yemeni citizens increases as their incomes are insufficient to cover the insane rise in the prices of basic materials and Eid requirements.
Coming next. Houthi militia prevents medical university students from attending final exams. Welcome back. Informed sources in the capital Sana'a reported that the Houthis prevented students at the Faculty of Medicine at Sana'a University from taking their final exams. The sources added the rebel militia justified such an act by saying students did not pay the university fees. More on this story is in the following report.
The administration of the Faculty of Medicine at Sana'a University under the Houthi control prevented hundreds of students from taking their final exam for this year in various medical specialties, and the joy of graduation was spoiled for them for purely material greed in a precedent not witnessed by a university campus in Yemen or the whole world. Some students have prepared to graduate this year, especially those enrolled in the expansive barrel education system, and threatened to prevent them from taking the exams unless they pay the remaining fees. Although these students submitted a petition to their college to take into their account their circumstances in this catastrophic ordeal that the country is going through. However, it obligated them to pay it in full before the exams and not accepting any excuse for anyone as a kind of hatred policy in the happiest moments of their lives. The sources added that the students who were unable to pay went to their exams, as they were certain that preventing them from taking exams was an impossible step to take towards graduates who have been exhausted by years of study. But when they went to the exam halls, they were stunned by the administration's implementation of its threats and preventing them from taking their exams with their peers, which caused chaos to protest against this uncertainty. Despite their colleagues' attempts to pressure their administration to stop its decision and its insistence that prompted the test students to suspend their exams and refrain from taking them until further notice in solidarity with their colleagues, which threatens to obstruct an entire medical batch of this year's graduates. Academics attributed this reckless step to the revealed Houthi intentions aimed at depriving the people of Yemen of their right to scientific disciplines.
The terrorist Houthi militia seized the Emirati University in Yemen and the capital Sana'a. It is noteworthy that the Emirati University in Yemen is affiliated with an Emirati investor who has been living in Sana'a for years since 2014. UNICEF said heavy rains and severe floods have caused the displacement of more than 1,000 Yemeni families. UNICEF reported that it deployed emergency teams to help the damaged in 50 districts in the affected governorates and provide urgent humanitarian assistance. Local residents said that they found about 22 bodies of citizens who were swept away by the floods in a road between Taiz and Lahj. Alternative roads caused many tragedies for the people of Taiz governorate due to the siege imposed by the Houthi militia since 2015. Here is the reminder of the main headlines. Yemeni government proposes opening 5 roads in Taiz to ease movement of citizens. Despite relative calm in fighting, Yemenis continue to suffer due to economic crisis nationwide. Hike prices deprives thousands of Yemeni families from purchasing Eid sacrifices. This is the end of the news. It was Roshan Fouad. See you soon.